Okay, I'll just keep talking, Steve. Yeah, you fix it. Are you good now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here we go. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle. I'm the guitar buying, selling, training, buying, oh my God.
New week, same shirts.
Yeah,
we're back.
It's amazing.
We don't have a topic this week, so we're just gonna do oops all ads.
Have you ever heard of Givson guitars?
I have, because I looked at this email that sent pictures.
You've never heard
Gibson.
of them before?
No.
So Givson, I don't actually, though I don't know if they can argue this anymore because the logo is so.
They're clearly trying
to be Gibson, but Givson.
It's like an Indian company,
it's
right?
An Indian company that's, from what I understand, it has been around like for a very long time.
Wild.
I'm trying to see if on their website they have any information about the history of the company.
They've got some interesting details going on. Okay, so let's explain this particular guitar that was sent to us. It's got kind of this BC Rich Mockingbird sort of thing going on, mixed with like a Matson design. Where do you start? It's a bolt-on style guitar with a 6-in-line headstock, kind of a hint towards a Fenderish sort of thing with headstock, but it has the Gibson logo, which is very much in the Gibson logo style.
The tuners are open back, which is an interesting.
That's a wild throwback.
I guess budget choice.
The pick guard, and this thing's humbucker, single humbucker, no Pepsi. The elders in our audience will really appreciate that joke.
Yeah.
It is a hardtail with a really unique piece of hardware as the bridge. I haven't seen that.
Okay. According to their website, they've been around since 1980.
It's got 4 knobs. It has 2 switches that are mounted into some sort of plastic puck on the upper horn with a print on it that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 sliding switches, and Gibson, and like some sort of interesting design. Like, I've never seen hardware quite like this. It has Gibson written on this guitar at least 8 times. A really interesting pickguard.
Bridge.
Really interesting pickguard with a red and white and red lightning bolt motif, and like a sandwiched wood kind of aesthetic underneath the burst. There's a lot going on here. Yeah, that bridge is kind of like a throwback to like an 80s, almost like PV style hardtail bridge.
225. You know? Who was this sent by? Andrew Wall.
Really interesting detail. The neck plate looks like it's made out of plastic, right?
It does. It does.
Like what? And it uses a flathead screw to hold.
Well, and it's not. They're not sunk.
No. And the sticker that's half peeling off that says "Okay, tested" is not giving me a lot of confidence. There's a lot of really funky details here, but I have no reason to think that this guitar doesn't play. It looks like a functional guitar.
Yeah, there's not a lot of detail on it because I think they, like, I don't know what parts of this they manufacture. You know, in terms of like the pickups and whatnot. I don't think any. I think all of this is done in house. It's interesting, and I don't want to. It's interesting because this company is 40 years old, right. 42 years old.
I'm the same age as
I'm going to try to untranslate this because this is, I think, just been translated to English.
Okay.
But it says it's not a jump, just many small footsteps behind this. It was a dream of Santi Biswas, who was the one and only man who had to carry the flag with confidence until he died. Starting in 1980, we've made many thousands of guitars for every kind of guitar lover, musician, and trainee. As this way we reach the goal. So that, this isn't. And then this is the part that I think is interesting. They say nowadays many other products are compared to us, but they are not. They're just competitors. Like, I think it's an interesting thing that they are portraying themselves as a family brand, as this brand that's existed for a long time. I've seen their acoustics in places before, and some of the pictures that you grab screenshots of, I mean, there's definitely...
That's their current lineup.
This is their current lineup.
Yeah.
And some of these designs are very, like, I think are pretty cool in terms of...
Despite their logo looking very Gibson-esque, and obviously they're called Gibson,
Yeah.
there's really nothing Gibson going on here. They've got Strats with various different pickup loadouts, and they have these funky kind of BC Rich style shapes. And then they have like their single cuts look very unique. Like, and they have this weird kind of like other shape. I don't know how to, it's called the Santa Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I kind of want to try one of these. They're doing their own thing. They just have a name that is very much like, is this copyright infringement? I don't know.
Well, the thing too is that Givson is a name, like it's a real name,
right?
Like and I think it might be a more common name in India than it is here.
But they still wrote out the name like the Gibson logo. Like, they didn't find a new...
for sure.
They didn't find a new aesthetic treatment for that name.
So, for example, currently in the...
Does it bother you guys when you can't see Steve's face because he hides behind the microphone like this?
In the Indian Super League, there is a professional footballer named Givson Singh Morantham. So I think that's just like it's a man's name.
Right. It's a man's name.
It's a man's name.
It's a man's name.
Oh my gosh. There's a bunch of articles about that guy, but yeah, some of the so actually to your comment, you said like there's not really any Gibson designs. This one that's the blue diamond.
Well, they're all Gibson designs.
They're all Gibson designs, but they're not all Gibson designs.
Right.
But this one that's a blue diamond is giving me big Gibson Victory vibes. Or like the M3s.
Look, it's got
those, like,
three
80s.
red switches on it.
Phase, or maybe they're just on-offs.
I think those are the pickup selectors.
Let's see what happens when you click on read more. I can't click on it. This is
it's a screen grab.
I'm dumb.
We don't even get to see a picture of the blue bird.
Yeah.
It wouldn't load. No image available. The Black Mamba. Look at the bridge placement on the Black Mamba and the headstock. I kind of want to. I wouldn't mind trying one of these. I don't want to own one. I don't want to buy one. But if they showed up at NAMM, I'd give them a shot. You think they would show their face at NAMM?
I hope so.
Like, Gibson's not coming. We're gonna start showing up to NAMM.
Maybe they have, and we just didn't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information on the website about any of the specs on these.
So Dave Hill from the Dave Hill's Good Time Fun Hour.
Hold on. One of the things that along that comment on the front, one of the comments on here says all respected customers are requested to check the hologram by mobile scanning to reach our web, www.givson.com. So they put these like holograms with the QR code, I guess, on the guitars because it sounds like
hologram.
It sounds like people
are faking them.
Are like building fake Gibsons.
Gibson is getting cloned. I love this hologram. I love it.
Maybe
they're like, here we are. We're Gibson. Deal with it. We have to protect our intellectual property here.
Yeah,
we're putting holograms on things.
The GB 1000 bass gives me Yamaha bass vibes. This Santa Cruz model guitar looks a whole lot like that.
I like that Challenger bass.
Fernandez you had.
I like the Santa Cruz and I like the Challenger. I don't know. I might be a big fan now. They've got some slide guitars.
But like I said, the name aside, because I think obviously like the name is if it's not intentionally, it's really close.
So these guys have been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
There is a movie that the comedian Dave Hill turned me on to. It's a Bollywood movie, and it's called The Disco Dancer. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene in it. Like, he's a disco dancer, but he also plays guitar, and he's an all-around musician and just hero to the community. There is a scene where a bad person is trying to assassinate him, and they electrify a guitar that's on stage because they know he's going to pick it up and play it because he's famous for his guitar ripping. Mm-hmm. And they electrify it in a way that it would kill him.
Right.
In a tragic turn of events, his mother picks it up.
No.
And
Ryan, you're spoiling this.
He
for
witnesses
everyone.
his mother being electrocuted, and you can see her skeleton. Like it's like the
right.
Like it's a wild movie, and it's totally worth watching. So tell Dave Hill that I sent you to that movie. He'll appreciate it.
Can somebody also just take the part of the video where Ryan says Dave Hill turned me on? And
Dave Hill turned me on to that
just
movie.
Cut that part out. Obviously, a few of these designs. This one is kind of BC
Dave Hill
Riches.
made me rock hard.
Oh my god!
On my guitar when I was watching that movie.
The Black Mamba has some big BC Rich vibes. They've got a Strat style guitar.
But what I was going to say is, I wonder if this company's been around for 40 years. I wonder if they might have been the manufacturer for those guitars in that Bollywood movie.
They could have been.
I think that movie was early 80s or something like that.
These guitars, like the shapes aren't particularly original, but I do appreciate that they're forging their own thing. They keep it simple. They do what they do.
How many original shapes are there?
Right.
Anymore,
and this has been one of my criticisms with a lot of the importers is they're, trying to, they don't want to they just want to slap their logo on the head, or even worse, they just want to make legitimately counterfeit Gibson guitars.
I feel like these guitars aren't for us to see. This is for India. We're not supposed to know about these. They're not for us. These are India's guitars. They're not our guitars, okay?
You might not be wrong. I mean, they're certainly made for domestic.
Right. They don't make these to send them to Americans. This is their home brand.
I always thought these were so much older, but
no, these are all brand new, Steve.
I'm trying to look them up on eBay now.
The Electronic Bay, huh?
The old Electronic Bay. The problem is there's so many new ones that you can't find any of the old ones.
You got to search for that vintage Givson gold.
Yeah, I'll do it later. Do it on my own time. What do you think? You want to own a Gibson? You want to try one?
I want to try one. I don't want to necessarily own one, but what if I tried one and I was smitten? I was like, yeah, I feel like I have this in my life.
Like at worst, these would kind of have that that kind of real budget import charm.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot of fun. I think that's the worst. Actually, I think the worst case scenario is that they don't have that. Because
what if they're too good?
Some of the things, like for example, the neck plate that looks like it's made out of some kind of plastic.
Yeah,
it reminds me of that Les Paul knockoff I had that ended up in the Yule.
In the Yule fire.
In the Yule, but it kind of had some cheap parts on it. If that guitar had been set up right, it would have been a lot of fun. I think the neck was just completely unrepairable.
No, there's nothing left redeemable about that guitar.
Blah, blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. All right, on to the next ad.
Yeah, let's do some housekeeping.
Oh, housekeeping. Might as well.
Show,
yeah.
Where if you want to support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/60cycle homecast, where for as little as $1 a month.
I'm going to suggest that instead of signing yourself up for the Patreon, sign up your worst enemy.
No,
that guy that you don't like at the office said weird things to you, has a weird vibe. Sign him up in his name. You're paying for it, but it's kind of a revenge. And he's going to have his name at the end of your favorite guitar podcast. And he's not going to know why. It's going to confuse him.
I got a better idea.
Okay.
Put the Patreon name down for somebody that you love, and say for Christmas I got you onto the end credits of a really cool podcast that I really like.
Did your deceased grandparent or other loved one love guitar?
Memorialize them
by having them in the credits of a guitar podcast.
There you go.
Indefinitely if you choose. Just saying. An up-to-date memorial. They can say in loving memory of, and we'll put it in the
in the
end crawl.
If your Patreon, because you can set the name to whatever you want.
That
so
would set our podcast qualities to a much higher standard. Oh my gosh, this is in loving memory of someone. We're so sorry to the family of this person
so just
for our dumb jokes.
Head over, check that out. This episode is also brought to you all by y'all. But Chase Bliss Audio.
But Chase Bliss
This
Audio.
is a Therme. You can buy these now, I believe.
You can buy them. They make them,
Yeah,
and they sell them directly to you.
.com. I don't know. ChaseBlissAudio.com, where for as little as, I don't know, $400, you can get one of these pedals. I think they're $400. Are they $400?
They cost money,
Could be
Steve. You have to exchange currency for pedals from Chase Bliss. That's how it works. Unlike all other things in life, you have to exchange currency for them. But is it worth it? Absolutely. I mean, this little box right here, it delays the output of your signal. And then it shifts the pitch of the output of that signal. This sounds really cool. It's a lot of fun. Look up all the demo videos and decide for yourself if it's worth it. Chase Bliss Audio for pedals more creative than you.
I heard a rumor.
Uh-oh.
That if you take your credit card bill and you convert it to an audio file and you run it through the Therme, it will delay your need to pay that bill. And if you make the settings just right, it will pitch down the amount of money that you owe your credit card company.
It's kind of like the Konami code. You have to find the exact settings on the dip switches here. And that is an official and legal way to defer all of your credit card payments.
That's just a rumor. This is all just a rumor. We've never done this.
I saw a YouTube video where they did it and it worked. So,
okay.
Yeah.
This episode's also brought to you by Vibes High Fidelity Earplugs. If you are like us, you like to go to shows, you like to go to shows where they play loud music, you need Vibes. They're super compact. They're so cute.
They're like little mushrooms you put in your ears and you can hear the concert. I'm going to put them in right now, so I won't have to listen to Steve.
That's what you should do. I used to use foam earplugs when I first started, and the problem with foam earplugs is it just blocks out everything and it does it very unevenly.
This is actually a really good test.
These are going to give you a much better
I just dimed my headphone mix.
That's disgusting. Now dime mine so I can no, don't dime mine.
Like this should because we usually keep it below half because it's got a really hot mix on the headphones. I've got it all the way up, and the audio quality actually sounds really, really nice.
Yeah,
that sounds really decent.
These Vibes earplugs are used by hundreds of thousands of musicians, and the reality is like if you like to play loud, if you ever have that feeling after you play loud where your ears just feel compressed, maybe there's a little ringing, you're doing damage to your ears. And in the long run, that's not good. That's why you need Vibes. We're
all getting older. Even the young people in the audience, you're getting older too. You're not going to be able to shake off that ringing sound forever when you go to a loud concert.
Yeah.
You may flirt around with that when you're young. Leave it in your youth. Actually, don't leave it in your youth. Don't have it in any part of your life. Wear protection in your ears. You need to wear ear protection. Okay, it's serious. It's we know too many people our age that struggle with tinnitus. There's people in the audience right now that struggle with tinnitus that will tell you wear protection when you're jamming through your big 4x15 stacks with your Doom rig or something like that. Like it's the rest of your life. You don't want to have ringing in your ears for the rest of your life.
Head on over to discovervibes.com. Use code 60cycle. 60 cycle. That's 60
to get
cycle
15% off.
15% off. That's going to bring the price down to under $25. You know what? Again, Christmas is coming. Look how small this is. This is a great little perfect stocking stuffer,
baby. Everyone you know has ears. Most of them are probably able to hear with them. Get all of your hearing friends and family earplugs for Christmas.
Get some for you. Get some for the people you love.
Yeah.
Get some. All right. What's new, Ryan?
Good radio voice, Steve. Get some. What's new? I actually have something new.
What?
It's actually kind of old.
Oh.
Hold on a second.
What are you doing? What is that? Oh, that's one of those things.
So I pulled this out of like a free pile, a free cardboard box that was in someone's front yard when I was driving around town. Must have been 3 years ago.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of like other Radio Shack mixers and stuff in there that I couldn't get to work, and I couldn't get this to work. And I was going through stuff like throwing things away and like figuring out things that I needed to sell. And I was like, oh, let's look at the power supply again and see if I can figure this out. So I look at it. DC 12 volts, center positive.
Okay.
What do I know that uses that? I know have something that uses that power supply.
Is it?
All the Surfy Bear stuff.
Oh.
So I didn't have a power supply before. Or I didn't realize what it was. So I took the Surfy Bear power supply and I plugged it into this. It works totally fine. It's a Yamaha R100, which is kind of like a baby brother to the R500, which is the slow dive reverb unit.
Oh, okay.
I plugged it in on my own time. I played through it. I went through a bunch of the settings, and I was like, wow, this sounds like crap.
Does it really? You gotta make a video, man.
It is a very it doesn't sound awful, but it's that very specific, like, kind of just very computerish emulations of various reverbs. There are fun things on here, like some stereo effects, like stereo ping pongs and things like that, and gated reverbs and what.
Ryan, you have stereo amps.
I know. I tested it that way.
Oh.
The gated rooms and things like that, echo reflections, slap attack. They're all extremely
slap attack.
They're all extremely digital sounding. Like, you could use this to like score like a John Carpenter movie with, like a synth or something like that. Like, and apparently, like, I mean, I'm glad I stopped in and grabbed it because I had a good, like, fun hour and a half messing around with it. So worth the price of admission. And also these sell used for like $70, $100 sometimes.
Not bad.
Not bad. The other two things in the box didn't work. And also, like, the user interface on it is kind of clunky because it's just got a little digital display here and up and down buttons, and you have to change from memory and then recall to switch to a different setting, and then you have to click parameters and go up and down and select a parameter to adjust things. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But I'm glad that I got it working and messed around with it a bit. I should probably film it at some point. If you want me to film it, shout it out in the comments, shout it out loud, and I'll try to make a reverb party with it.
Shout it out.
I was hoping
Let
that
it all out.
They have what is it called on here? Soft reflections.
Oh.
I was hoping it would be similar to that.
Do they not have it at all?
They don't have that setting on there. What is it called? I have the soft focus.
Soft focus.
That's what the Cattle and Bread pedal is based on. And I was hoping it would be similar to that, and it's really not at all. Like reverse echo and stuff, scratch plate, like this. It's got some interesting settings on there. Does someone want it? After I film it, does someone want it that you want to buy it from me? I don't know. I'll ship it to someone if they want to buy it from me. All right. What's next, Steve?
What's next is we're going to talk about this guitar. It's on eBay. Skulls, spikes, metal zone, all on the blackest, pointiest guitar.
This might be the pointiest guitar ever.
Ultimate teenage metalhead's guitar. This was built by Colin. Well, this was modified by Colin Scott.
Right. It is a project he did for a video. I think he was trying to do like the heaviest metal guitar ever or something like that.
I feel like I got to do this in this voice. Remember when you were a teen?
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to do a Scottish voice.
And had just listened to Metallica for the first time? Slayer were the heaviest thing you'd ever heard, and you wanted nothing more to design your own sick metal guitar that your parents would hate. This is that guitar! Starting from a bronze series. I'm not Michael Myers, man. I can't do a Scottish accent.
You're also not a murderer.
I always call him Michael Myers instead of Mike Myers. Starting from a Bronze Series BC Rich Warlock, this tetanus risk of an instrument has received a full professional refret, making it possibly the best playing Bronze Series BC Rich to ever exist. Or it would be if the entire perimeter wasn't needled in metal spikes. These are screw-in and removable for storage and transport. What isn't removable is the Boss Metal Zone. Every teen's dream distortion pedal mounted into the body and wired directly into the active pickup signal path. The guitar is further decorated with an entire set of pewter skull ornaments, pickup surrounds, jack plate, knob, switch ring, truss cover, and a huge skull and crossbones neck plate for when being metal is more important than comfort.
You sound like the voice that Glenn Fricker uses when he reads comments on his channel.
Finally, what teenage metal guitar would be complete without stickers of your favorite bands and edgy swear words scratched into the finish with a razor blade? All work done to this guitar is documented in the following video. https://u2.b/q587pss EWCC. A truly unique piece and the most brutal guitar
purchase you'll ever make.
Oh, he doesn't ship to the U.S.
Oh, what the hell?
What kind of promotion is this, Ryan? You're promoting a guitar that you can't even get shipped to the United States? God!
We live in a time where contests should be global. No, they should span the solar system.
This is a contest.
Everyone should be involved.
Whoever sends the most money. Actually, this will be over by the time this episode
you can't
ends.
buy it anymore. It's gone, guys.
Gone.
Yeah. I remember when he made this. It's just bonkers. Look at the fret dressing on it. Like I have the picture up. This is probably the best setup BC Rich of this line ever.
I'm looking at this.
That's just good
It's
fret
so
dressing. Yeah. Dang, Colin. And also, like, the spikes on the edges. This is like a slightly embarrassing story from my youth. Like when I was a teen, I was at the mall with a bunch of friends and we went to the Hot Topic and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy some punk spikes. Why shouldn't I buy some punk spikes? I surely have something to put punk spikes on. And I had major sticker shock at the cost of punk spikes. I don't remember what they were.
Really?
They might be cheaper now, but it was like, when I saw how much those spikes cost and I thought about all the kids I'd seen at shows that have like their jackets completely covered in them, I was like, oh, I see. That's like a rich kid thing. That's not a punk thing. That is a rich kid thing. Because I have never had that amount of money in my life to buy that many metal spikes to adorn a jacket.
Did you see the edgy swear words?
Yeah, Tori.
Who's Tori? She sounds hot.
I hate, and I know he did it mostly as a joke. I hate the pewter guitar skull and bat wings adornments. And I know he is the joke. I know I'm not trashing on Colin. I hate the look of those things. It just looks like trash every single time. It looks like a cheap, you turn your guitar into a bad haunted house. But that neck plate takes it to a level I hadn't seen it before. It makes the screw holes like the crossbones behind the skull.
This guitar wants to slam you in the back of the Dragula, man.
It looks so, and it's like so 3D. That thing's gonna be, it's like reverse buckle wear on your body. You're gonna get buckle wear on your body from your guitar's neck plate. Ridiculous, Colin. I hope you sold this thing for a whole bunch of money.
It's currently, when you took these screenshots, it was at 320 squid.
And it has 18 bids.
With 6 days to go.
I took this screen grab this morning, so that was a week and a half ago, Steve. Yeah, so it's gone now. I should.
You actually.
Someone checking in the comments and tell us how much it sold for. I hope he sells it for $16,000. All right, what's next, Steve? We're at a good pace here. 2 ads in, halfway through the show. We're not rushing.
I wanted to see if I could find. I wanted to see a close up of something that I couldn't see here. What are we doing? We're doing another sponsor spot.
Oh, good.
Oops, all sponsored. We should do an episode that's just all sponsors.
Yeah, people would love that. People do love our sponsors.
Love it.
And you know what? You should thank our sponsors for being the only thing in between us and you stopping us from having sex toy ads.
That's true.
weird like software game sponsorships.
That's actually somewhat true because we get so there's a lot of scams. We talked about scams a couple of weeks ago, but there are a lot of like
I'm
scam
having a
emails.
runny nose for some reason.
Gross.
I know.
There's a lot of scam emails out there trying to get people to promote stuff, but there's also like some legit affiliates that we get through brand companies that we've worked with before for guitar affiliates who are like, oh yeah, we have this thing, and it will be like just random whatever, or it'll be like for some software suite or whatever. We had one, oh, he's gone. We had one company reach out that was like, oh, this, like the sex toys thing is not a joke. Like we had a company that was like, oh, this seems like a thing you guys would be really good at promoting. And it was someone who was selling, was it on Amazon? Like they were selling sex toys on Amazon?
No, they had their own website. It was like a butt plug store or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I clicked the link.
I sent a screen grab to you. Clicked the link?
I clicked the link.
I didn't. Steve never clicked the link.
I copy pasted into a private browser.
No, Steve never clicked the link.
I didn't like. I looked at the text. I couldn't tell what. Actually, all I did was I pushed the link to load the preview.
I sent my wife a screen grab of the email, and she's like, "No."
I didn't think it was. It obvious in the email? I didn't feel like it was obvious.
Was obvious in the email. Oh. Like the website was like a creative spelling of fanny.
I just did not put that. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I just did not put it together. But I mean, there's other things. We could have pushed Manscaped harder and got a semi-permanent sponsorship.
No, they were telling us if we did more ads, we would have earned affiliate earnings because people were buying the Manscaped thing. But like, I would much rather have guitar sponsors like Stringjoy.
Yeah, they're crafted in Nashville, Tennessee, but they're played by players worldwide. They're also now sold through Sweetwater. But if you click at the link down in our description, it'll give us a little street cred with them. These are strings. They're just great. And if you don't want any of their like standard offerings, like I think this is a 9 to 42 set, or is this an 11 to 50 set?
This is a 9 to 42.
9 to 42 set, but say you want a weird combination of light and heavy, or heavy and light. You want
a 26. Nobody 14,
wants that.
26 set. You can order it.
But I bet there's someone out there who's like wants a 13 to like they're like I want like a thick like EBG,
right? And then they want a super light,
and then they want like light
EDA.
on the low end. Yeah. I bet that exists.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
Well, you could make it exist on their custom string builder.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you make it exist?
So you get like a 13 to 46 set. That would be kind of cool.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
That's an idea.
Yeah. Or do every other heavy light.
Yeah.
Why not? Sky's the limit.
So
get creative.
Click that link below.
I want to throw stuff too, Steve.
Yeah, but I need this pen to take notes.
Oh, you think I didn't need that pen?
This episode is also brought to you by Big Ear Pedals. We talked about it last week. We talked to Grant on the phone today. He showed us all around the new Big Ear work
called
space.
Big Ear Studios?
Big Ear Factory. Is it a factory?
It's the Big Ear basement?
Big Ear basement.
It's a very nice looking basement. I wish I had that in my life. I would have so much more room to build out sets and stuff in here, and I could have hobbies other than filming guitar videos.
Right here we got the Albee. It's a multi-effect. It's got a bunch of effects in it.
It's a curated multi-effect.
Curated. That's the word. I was like slowing way down. I was like, curated multi-effect. It's got 16 settings. You're going to want to try all of them.
You can ramp in between two settings by holding down the foot switch or turn it into latching mode to lock in those settings. But there's 8 settings on the face, and then you can select with the selector knob, and then you can ramp in between a more extreme version of that setting. Or you could set it to just go to the extreme or less extreme setting on the pedal by doing a tricky thing, powering it on and off and things like that. You know how to trick pedals, and it's, like
you just got to you have to convince.
You have to get a Game Genie.
Got to convince the pedal what you want.
Yeah.
All right. This next ad was sent by me.
Yeah, you found this one.
This is a Danelectro custom bass. Super interesting bass. It was all but completely mutilated. When I got it, the bass had 2 jazz bass pickups that were wired poorly and misaligned with the strings with a terrible custom pick guard. I filled the pickup cavities and refinished the top with wallpaper. I don't know anything about the guitar besides the fact that it works fine and it sounds really warm and thumpy. The lipstick pickup gives it the signature thuddy sound, and its short scale makes the bass super easy to play. Thanks for looking. I just saw this and I thought...
Is this local to you?
I don't think so. It was up because sometimes Facebook Marketplace shows me things that want to ship.
I love the wallpaper.
The wallpaper looks really cool. I think the thing that caught my eye on this is the first picture of it actually that I saw is the back of the guitar, which all that stuff looks pretty normal.
We got a little bit of resale reflections going on there, seeing the guys crossed legs.
I think, does these normally have a neck plate?
I don't think so.
And then the paint is like hella bubbling.
Oh, it's been repainted with house paint or something.
But then you go through and you go neck, and I go, oh, that's interesting. And then to me, what stood out is that those are like a really old style tuner.
Well,
older style. I don't know if it's accurate.
What's interesting about this is that Danelectros of this style, that dolphin headstock, they had 4 in line.
Oh, they did. You're right.
And also Danelectros use guitar tuners on their basses. So these tuners are absolutely aftermarket. You can see that the holes have been doweled and re-drilled. I was looking at it, I was like, why does that look funky? Oh, yeah, because they didn't do a 2x2 on a dolphin headstock. They do it on the the Coke bottle headstock, like on my bass right here. Yeah, my Longhorn bass.
Now, what's wild is the guy says like, "Oh, it sounds really thumpy." I can't tell from the pictures if these if these are tape wound strings. They gotta be. Yeah, these are tape wounds.
They're tape wound.
Otherwise, they're just. But even for tape wounds, they look pretty roughed up. So the wallpaper does look cool.
I can forgive kind of the roughness of the house paint and the rough edges of the wallpaper.
What can you not forgive,
and
Brian?
The conversion to the 2x2 headstock.
All right, what are you not going to forgive?
They've only got 1 screw in the bridge, and it needs 3. So it's starting to go crooked on them,
right?
Because it's held in by a triangle of screws. And the middle screw is meant to hold it in. The side screws hold it in as well, but are also adjustment for height, and they also hold it in place side by side. So that's a big misstep on the reassemble, but that's something that you could fix after you buy it, sort of thing. But
you think
otherwise,
this is like vintage good or vintage trash?
It's like $300, right?
Yeah. This
has got so much mojo. You're paying for mojo.
My
here.
concerns are that there's a fat crack in the neck that started. It looks like.
That's not going anywhere. I don't think that's going anywhere.
And then I don't know what's going on for the rest of the back of the neck. Just looks real roughed up.
Yeah, but that's mojo, Steve.
I think you gotta take some sandpaper and just take all that lacquer off. It looks rough.
Yeah, if you want it, but Steve, you don't want to sand away the mojo. This is like
that's like somebody put acetone on it on accident.
I know,
and it just melted.
I know, but this is so much vibe to it. I would fix the bridge and I'd probably leave the rest.
All right, so this is
maybe I would syringe some glue into that crack.
This says it'll ship for $17 on UPS ground.
If I had a project, if I had a band that was kind of like indie folky or kind of like, Lollapalooza alternative sort of thing, like some sort of Daniel Johnston sort of thing, I'd be all over this. It's got so much vibe to it. Like no one else has this guitar. It's too quirky,
I was trying to see if I could find out where this is actually located.
Did they wind the outside strings the wrong direction?
I think it's in the wrong direction. Oh, this is in Indiana is where this is located.
There's no way they can ship that for $17. No, I dig it. I dig the vibe. Like I feel like this is something that like you'd see in Red Pony Clock or something like that.
Yeah.
Some sort of indie show in someone's living room or something like that, and someone's playing this thing, and they're not a virtuoso at all, but they've got a song with a lot of heart and they're belting it out and they're playing this thing, and maybe they're getting some blood spraying around because they don't know how to play without hurting themselves. And it's a show you'll never forget. I love those sorts of musical moments, and I think this is a guitar that's waiting to fit into one of those musical moments. That's my piece on it. What do you think, Steve?
There you have it. No, it's I really like it. It's got
I wouldn't even try to haggle. I'd be like 300.
I think if it was local, I would be very tempted for 300.
Like our friend Adam, you give him that bass, and eventually he'll start a band with it. Or he'll write a bunch of love songs with it.
He'll cut an entire Christmas album
Right.
just with that. That will be the only instrument.
Right. All right. We got one more ad here.
This ad was sent by Derek.
Derek. Thank you, Derek. We don't know your last name, Derek.
Absolutely awesome 4-string long scale tenor electric guitar.
How long are we talking here?
Tenor.
It's
a tenor.
So it's 10 inches?
This is a 24 3/4 inch scale.
That's not that long.
4-string.
I guess it's long for a tenor.
That has killer high output dual rail.
24 3/4
is pickups.
24 3/4 is over twice as long as I'd expect for a tenor. It's 14 3/4 inches longer than I'd expect for a tenor guitar.
Okay. This guitar can be tuned so many different ways, including open for both tenor configurations and cigar box guitar, which there are so many tabs on the internet for great songs to play. I made this with a huge snapping turtle shell and put teak wood as the sides, along with mahogany for the top and neck. Stunning luster on this wood, just a majestic feel while holding it. This is also a hollow body guitar that really adds sustain and resonation. I currently have it open tuned in G, but it can be tuned numerous ways. What do you think about this, Ryan?
It's beautiful. I legitimately enjoy looking at this. I don't know, because there used to be a lot of stuff made out of like sea turtle shell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if, and it's all very illegal now. I don't know if there's any sort of legality issues with using snapping turtle shells.
I'm looking. So this is done a lot differently than I originally thought.
I have to assume that there's not, because snapping turtles are, I'm assuming, not endangered in any sort of way. They're swamp turtle. There's probably billions of them.
Billions and billions.
But it is a big boy. It's a big turtle shell. I remember, do you ever watch the old Kirk Douglas 20,000 Leagues Below the Sea? You never watched that? It was like one of a childhood favorite of mine.
Do I ever?
Have you ever?
Probably at least once or
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He plays a guitar made out of a turtle shell.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like the most rickety like stage prop you've ever seen in your life. Like, you're not playing that thing. Are you kidding me? And he has a friend that's a sea lion or something like that, and they go around the submarine playing songs and being rascals. It's a fun movie, but it's also very much of its time. But this kind of scratches that fantasy of like playing a turtle shell guitar while also looking classy enough that I could hang this up around the house, and I think it would be a talking point,
This is $390 or $383 with free shipping.
Can they throw in two more strings?
It's in Austin, Texas. So you think that's a fair price, like basically $400
for the craft of it? I think that's fine.
It actually is really well built, and that's one thing that I was saying is different about this. Is a lot of the time I feel like what you get when you have this is not much of not much for the sides.
Well, we've all seen like the armadillo ukuleles.
That's what I was like. Yeah,
that look like just tourist trap things. This looks like an instrument. It doesn't look like a tourist trap.
Well, the thing is that's exactly the point. If there was no turtle shell, you would still have a functional guitar here, because the top and the sides is very substantial.
I mean, the headstock, the wood is beautiful.
Yeah.
The teak on the body is beautiful. You don't have a lot of options for 4-string bridges, but I kind of wish the hardware was a little bit more. Like, what if that had two like brass telly saddles? I think it would look a little bit classier.
You can make that. You can tweak that yourself.
Oh yeah, you totally can. And
upgrades.
That's some kind of cheap pickup, some sort of cheap like Filtertron style bass pickup probably from an Electromatic or something like that.
and the tuners are like look like
imagine
cheap
this
diamond tuners.
Imagine this with like something gold foil as the pickup, you know? So it could be better, but you could do that on your own.
Yeah.
I think the tuners are fine. I don't expect this to have fancy tuners.
No, I'm just saying like these are all
But
like
pearl button tuners?
these are all Amazon parts.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I'm saying.
No, they're from a kit, you know. But like this with like pearl button tuners would look, or tortoiseshell button tuners.
My gosh. Haha, tortoiseshell.
And it needs a tortoiseshell pick guard on it, you know. It looks great. I think it looks great. So yeah, if you want it, buy it. If you don't like it at all because it uses a turtle shell, I get that too. But I think it works.
Where would you play this at?
In the sewer.
Would you play this guitar at the vegan food festival down in Barrio Logan?
No, Steve, that would be incredibly insensitive.
I know, right? Who would even think of such a thing?
You just did. I don't want to torment vegans. They're already doing it to themselves.
Wow. Now who's being cruel?
That's how to turn a conversation around for the sake of humor. I don't have feelings against vegans. I hope that they're living their best lives and enjoying everything that they can find to eat.
I actually had this conversation at work the other day.
Okay, here we go.
Actually, by the other day, I mean today, which at the time of this episode's release was the other day.
Thank you for clarifying.
About how like whenever we order
a shot.
Whenever we order sandwiches, right? We order sandwiches at work. I don't order them. Someone else orders them.
Yes. The details are very important here.
They order like 20 sandwiches.
Yeah.
Right? You get like 4 roast beef sandwiches, 4 turkey sandwiches, 4 ham sandwiches.
Does anyone get tuna?
Whatever. 4 tuna sandwiches.
Oof, gross.
I mean, I don't know. They're just ordering like it's a variety of sandwiches.
Right. Sandwich pack.
They're probably just like calling the shop and saying, give us your sandwich. Give us a bunch of sandwiches.
Give us your sandwiches.
And they usually have like maybe 2 or 3 vegetarian sandwiches. And a lot of people will like, vegetarian sandwich. Like, what the hell? Like, I can't have a sandwich if it doesn't have meat on it.
Is it even a sandwich if it's vegetarian?
Sometimes I think the vegetarian...
It's just a salad and bread.
I guess you gotta like avocado, right? If you don't like avocado, vegetarian sandwiches right out. But vegetarian sandwich often is the only sandwich that has sprouts on it, and sprouts is one of my favorite sandwich ingredients.
It's a great veggie for any sandwich. I wish I had sprouts on most of my sandwiches.
Right now?
I wish I had sprouts on a peanut butter jelly.
Right now? All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, bread. Pick your bread, whatever bread you like.
Sure.
I think for veggie, like I like a good hearty wheat bread.
Yeah.
Cheese, whatever cheese you want.
Sure.
Right? Sprouts.
Yeah.
Tomato. Avocado.
Yeah.
You like avocado? I like avocado.
Sure. Yeah.
Mustard. Some mustard on there. Okay. Onion.
Yeah, it all sounds great so far.
What else? What else are you putting on there? Cucumbers.
Okay.
You gotta have cucumbers.
I like cucumbers on a sandwich.
I think that's it. I think that would be what am I leaving off? Am I leaving something off?
My move would be to grab one of those and grab one of the meat ones and grab the filling from the meat one and shove it in there. Now you got double veggies and you've got meat. You got all those good veggies.
Oh man.
And you've got extra rolls sitting on the side if you're like still hungry later.
The problem is a lot of the places that we order these sandwiches from, they're already stuffed. So you really wouldn't have like
there's not extra room.
It would be like so tall.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a good sandwich though. You could split like if you get a sandwich that's got extra meat, you're like I could split this meat and do a veggie.
Oh yeah, there you go. You could instead of taking all the veggies and putting it on there, you take a little bit of the meat, put over. They stay the same.
You could bring your own meat from home. Bring some dry salami.
Yeah.
It travels, you know.
Work.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to store food in our lockers anymore because I think
it's dry salami. It will survive in your pocket. Warm it up in your pocket. Oh, this is my lunch salami. I carry. Steve's got his bulge in his pocket. Steve, what's going on with you today, buddy? We're calling you into HR.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on in your pants, Steve?
Are you stuffing your pants? No, it's just
that's just my lunch salami.
It's just my huge salami.
Excuse me,
sir.
Thump, would you like a slice? I bring this to work so that I can turn the veggie subs into meat subs. Because the veggie subs have really good vegetables in them.
Jesus. All right, that's the end of the show. Let's play a song.
All right. Did you enjoy this? Was this a good show?
I don't think it was.
No, I think this was a great show.
This was sent
I don't know what the
by,
clickbait's going to be, though.
crappy demo. Crappy. Yeah. This was sent by Crappy Pedal Demos. Hey guys, huge fan of the show. You helped inspire me to set up my Crappy Pedal YouTube and Instagram account, although they're not very active at the moment. I'm terrible at finishing, writing, and recording songs, and I have a crippling fear of sharing my music. So I wrote and recorded a song about it, and I'm sending it to you to share with the world. Hope you like it. Cheers, Will, from Crappy Pedal Demos, where the pedals are crappy, but sometimes the demos are good. I will accept cookies. I will play this song.
It's summer in the city and I'm stuck to the sheet. The sound of screaming children is flooding the street. You know that I'd do anything to get back to sleep. I got all this spare time, I got nothing to do. I got these left feet and a feeling in my shoes. I'm trying to be a better man, but that's nothing new. And apparently, these are treacherous times to be a guy like me. And what I'm trying to be, well, that's a whole other question. I can point you in the right direction, love. The right direction, love. I got all these ideas and no sense of direction. Not many fears, but I'm afraid of rejection. I guess I'll keep it private here, call it self-protection. Always told myself that I'd do it someday. Someday only ever gets further away. Maybe I just lie to myself. I don't know what to say. And apparently, these are treacherous times to be a guy like me. And what I'm trying to be, well, that's a whole other question. I can point you in the right direction, love. There's a lie, but it's fading away. The words are stuck, I don't know what to say. Things were right, but they're not right today. And there's a lie, but it's fading away. There's a light and it's fading away. The words are stuck, I don't know what to say. Things were right, but they're not right today. And there's a light and it's fading away. There's a light and it's fading away. The words are stuck, I don't know what to say. Things were right, but they're not right today. And there's a light and it's fading away. Yeah, there's a light and it's fading away. There's a light and it's fading away. There's a light but it's fading away. There's a light and it's fading away.
That was great.
Yeah, that song is called Confessions of an Average Guy.
I like it. All right. Thanks for sending us music. Bye, everyone.
Stay grounded.